Do not move to Sarasota. There, I said it. That felt good to get off my chest. But many of you know that I am a born and raised Sarasotian. Maybe wondering, wait a minute, Lyndsey, you love Sarasota, so why tell us not to move there? To be honest, this video is kind of hard for me to do, being that I do love all things Sarasota. But in total transparency, there are a few things that I could possibly live without. And if some of these items are on your list of concerns, then you may want to reconsider calling Sarasota home. I'm going to share them all with you today, so stay tuned. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Lyndsey Ashley, realtor with Keller Williams Realty Select here in Sarasota. As a native of this city, I love passing along my knowledge of the area to possible future Sarasotians or just anyone interested in Florida. I will give you the good, the bad, and the ugly, although it may pain me at times because I really do love this city and everything about it, but it's not always for everyone. Let me share my insider tips with you to help shine some light on your questions about Sarasota living. And if you enjoy my videos, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel. Your support helps me reach more people looking to call Sarasota home and also helps me know what topics you're interested in. All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. One big nuisance I hear about here in the Sunshine State is wildlife. Yep, we sure do have an assortment of wildlife here. While most states have deer crossing signs, you may see some gator crossing signs in Sarasota, and it's not a joke. Florida is the only place on earth that features both alligators and crocodiles living together in perfect harmony. Okay, maybe not perfect harmony. However, only alligators reside in Sarasota, and because they live in freshwater, it is safe to assume that any freshwater body of water, lakes, ponds, even swimming pools, can be a home to a gator. It should be noted, though, that attacks are rare. We also have our share of snakes and, yes, bugs. Being that we are in a humid area, it's to be expected, but if you don't have the patience for some of these creepy crawlies, then mark Sarasota off your list. This takes me to the next point. Hot, hot, hot. Most people flock to our state for a much needed respite from the cold, especially in the wintertime. But if you live in Sarasota, once summer comes around, you better be ready for some heat and humidity. Unlike places like Phoenix, Arizona, Sarasota is not a dry heat, not even a little bit. Instead of, if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen, here it's more like, if you can't stand the humidity, get out of Florida. With Florida being the most humid state in the US, you can expect Sarasota summers to be hot and steamy, and not in a romance novel sort of way. And with everyone flocking here to get their annual dose of warmth and some vitamin C, you better believe that my next point is seasonal traffic. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Here in Sarasota, we get a lot of our revenue from tourists, which is a great thing. From spring breakers to snowbirds, Sarasota is a popular destination. And with all of our must-see attractions, not to mention award-winning beaches, one can expect people to want to visit. But with more people comes more congestion, and this means that it can take longer for you to get from point A to point B. A headache, I know, and if you're not used to this yet, it can be a major turnoff to Sarasota. Let me take a moment to pop in some positivity here. If you are finding this information helpful, then take a minute to hit that subscribe button and be sure to like that video. Again, this helps me to know what viewers like and appreciate so I can bring you more of what you want. Let's get back to it, shall we? Before, we were speaking of people flooding in, which takes us right into another inconvenience: flood insurance. For water, not people. For those of you familiar with my channel, you may remember when I had a Q&A with Tracy Robert of the Insurance Man and Company. Tracy told us that typically your flood insurance is a separate policy in Florida. If the home is in a high-risk flood zone, the flood policy must be purchased separately, either through FEMA or a private market flood insurance company, which only became available over the last few years. In most cases, in order to even quote through FEMA, a flood elevation certificate survey is needed. This process and insurance can get somewhat pricey depending on the location of your home. I mean, we are a state surrounded by water, so flooding is not uncommon. And most of the time, flooding occurs because of hurricanes. Yep, let's just discuss that elephant in the room, shall we? Hurricanes begin to rev up in the Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico from June 1st to November 30th, with the peak of the season around the first week of September. Because of the shape of Florida's landmass and atmospheric factors related to the rotation of the Earth, hurricanes tend to make landfall to the south and travel east across Florida. Some hurricanes may even curve north and hit the northern Gulf Coast. This is a positive within a negative, though, in regards to Sarasota. Sarasota is more vulnerable to storms that form in the Caribbean and enter the Gulf of Mexico. These usually occur early or late in hurricane season. Anyone remember Wilma or Charlie? Those are the type of storms that you can expect while living in Sarasota, not necessarily hurricanes. Again, if storms of that magnitude aren't something that you can handle, then cross Sarasota off that list of places to live. So the last turnoff to Sarasota for some people is the demand of homes. I mean, to me, Sarasota is like living in paradise year-round, but actually finding that home in paradise can be daunting and nerve-wracking. Currently, with homes only lasting in the market for maybe a week or so, you can bet that you might find yourself in a possible bidding war with several other buyers. Again, some people do not want to do this because of the stress factor that comes with a multiple offer situation. If you are one of those people, wave bye-bye to Sarasota as a place to live. Okay, so I know we discussed some pretty understandable negative reasons why one may not want to move to Sarasota. As with anything, you always want to weigh the positives and negatives before making a final decision to be sure you are ending up exactly where you want to be. Sarasota is an absolutely wonderful and gorgeous place to live, but like I mentioned earlier, it is not for everyone, and that's okay. Now you have some extra knowledge to think over, and if you need any additional help or have any questions regarding to the topics in this video, reach out to me and feel free to ask about anything not covered in the video. I grew up here, I live and breathe Sarasota, so who better to answer your questions? Also, feel free to comment below about what's possibly holding you back from making that leap to get to the Gulf. I'd love to chat with you. If you're looking for contact information, check out the description below. You'll also find a link where you can search properties here in Sarasota. Until next time, bye-bye.